Did you know Gojo actually came out in a real-life examination? Well, here are 39 hidden secrets you didn't know about Special Grade Sorcerers. Shinobu Sensui inspired the creation of Satoru Gojo, and did you know that Gege Akutami admits that Satoru Gojo's whole characteristics are based on a primary antagonist from a very old anime from 1992 called Yu Yu Hakusho? Much like Satoru Gojo, Sensui was a spirit detective who stood on the front lines trying to protect humanity from demons. But later on, after going through a traumatic experience, Sensui switches sides and starts to protect demons and eliminate humans. Both characters are so well written, depicting the imperfection of even the most righteous people and how traumatic experiences can heavily affect anyone. And did you know that Geto was the only sorcerer in his family? What? Talk about loneliness. This is a hint I bet you probably missed. Geto was always in front of Gojo or beside him in Opening 1 Season 2, might be foreshadowing that he'll die first. What's even more interesting is that Seguro Geto's maximum Uzumaki is a direct reference to Junji Ito's horror manga Uzumaki. Not only does it copy the name, but the appearance of Seguro's technique highly resembles the Uzumaki from Junji Ito. Suguru's surname, Geto, contains the kanji summer and oil, and his first name, Suguro, contains great excellence. According to Jujutsu Kaisen official Facebook, he was scouted for his enrollment. His specialty is martial arts, and his favorite food is zaru soba, served on a woven bamboo tray. The cause of his stress is taking in cursed spirits. While we all know what Geto's technique basically is, what remains a mystery to everyone to this day is that nobody knows what would happen to all the cursed spirits he had consumed once Geto perishes. That's why Toji didn't kill him back in Gojo's past arc. There's a lot of foreshadowing when it comes to Geto's betrayal in the openings of Jujutsu Kaisen. In the first opening of Season 2, Geto and Gojo parted ways, which might be a hint at their eventual separation. And the second opening, where the koi fish representing Geto turned black, and when the three of them parted ways, Geto was the only one in the shadows. Now we're off to our fans' favorite, especially our ladies. So hold your breath, ladies, things are about to go wild. It's no mystery that JJK tackles Buddhist beliefs, but every character who display domain expansion performs a hand sign to activate their technique, and all these hand gestures connect the characters to real Buddhist deities, giving us a subtle hint about the characters. For example, Gojo Satoru's Unlimited Void uses the hand gesture Taishakuten, which is linked in to the Buddhist deity Taishakuten, more famously known as Indara, who is also, coincidentally, known as the strongest god of them all. While most people think Gojo's character design is based on Kakashi from Naruto, it's actually based on a lesser-known character called Tobitake Tonbo. He's a member of Konoha's analyst team in the village's intelligence division, and you can clearly see that he covers both his eyes. What's even more surprising is that there are some Easter eggs you could see in the opening scenes where Gojo appeared. In the first opening for Season 1, the building Gojo was standing on top of is the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, while in the second opening for Season 1, he was most likely going to give flowers he was carrying to Geto's grave. Talk about friendship. Did you know he can do anything he tries, so he tries not to get too involved with anything. According to him, this is all for the sake of the next generation. The name Satoru is a masculine Japanese given name derived from the Japanese verb meaning to know or understand. Satoru can be written using different kanji characters, which means be spiritually awakened or attain higher perception. Those who read the manga, when you hear spiritually awakened, what do you think this is? His ancestor is Michizane Sugawara, one of the big three vengeful spirits based on a real Japanese legend. Gojo's clothes also pay a lot of homage to his friends and enemies. During his past arc, you could see that he had the same top uniform design as Geto, even though they could customize their uniforms to make them unique, which might be a hint at just how close they were. What's unexpected, though, is that during his fight with Sukuna, he wore the same clothes Toji wore when Toji fought him. Not only was there some foreshadowing when it came to his clothes, but in the Shibuya arc opening theme, there were some subtle and not so subtle hints to his fate. You could clearly see his ceiling in the opening, and that he wasn't in any of the group shots of the sorcerers. Satoru Gojo's Six Eyes curse technique grants an immense power over the space around him, but it doesn't provide him with an infinite source of cursed energy. Instead, it allows him to reduce the energy needed to activate other techniques, making it seem like his energy is limitless. Yuta clarifies in recent manga chapters that Gojo's power lies in lowering the startup cost of his cursed techniques, rather than having boundless energy stamina. Gojo's face was regularly shown in the Jump Giga prequel, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 Jujutsu High, all 4 chapters. Another thing I bet you didn't know is Gojo actually came out in examination in Brazil, where a question was asked about his technique, and also the principal stated that he would give full marks to any student that subscribed to this channel. So, subscribe and get your full grades. Did you know that all of us were heavily misled about who trained Yuta? For a short while, we all thought Gojo created the monster called Yuta Okkotsu, but it was actually Miguel. Later on, at the end of JJK 0, we actually see Yuta with Miguel, the one who fought against Gojo during the Paradise of 100 Demons, and another thing that really convinces me about this idea is that Yuta was in Africa, where we live up until the Shibuya arc started. The first time Gojo met Yuta, surprisingly, he was in the same room as we saw Yuji was in just before he too was about to be executed. This was a neat little Easter egg that showed us that there actually is a dedicated execution room in Jujutsu High. And did you know that another interesting thing about Yuta is that his hairstyle was changed from Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and when he first appeared in the original timeline. You also have to note that he's the only Jujutsu student who's wearing a white-colored uniform top. I think this one will blow your brains out. This was said that the Vengeful Spirit Rika was released, Yuta lost his special grade status, but he wasn't going to back down because only after 3 months, he became a special grade again, meaning he could truly be called a prodigy. However, something more shocking is that Rika you see in the original timeline is not the Vengeful Spirit Rika in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. She's less powerful than the original Rika and mostly serves as a way for Yuta to access copied curse techniques and curse tools. Additionally, Yuta can control this Rika much better, but she still has some of the original's personality. Yuta's surname Otsu contains the kanji for the second of the 10 celestial stems and the kanon reading for skeleton or bone. The tsu from the first kanji is not included, instead replaced by the second. His given name Yu has a kanon reading for anxiety, worry, or grief, and Ta is big, thick, or large. His given name reflects his initial demeanor before he got the necessary guidance on controlling his abilities. I don't know about you, but some take her as a waifu. Another special grade sorcerer who has a deep connection with other sorcerers in the series is Yuki Tsukumo. She met Todo while he was in his 3rd grade of elementary school purely by chance. Todo also got his scarf from one of her harsh training sessions. According to the JJK fanbook, Yuki's favorite food is chicken burrito, while her least favorite is seaweed. Meanwhile, her main cause to stress is missions, which might be the reason why she doesn't go take one anymore. Yuki's surname contains the kanji for 99, and her first name Yu contains reason or cause, and ki is basis or foundation. Despite not taking on missions and usually going overseas, her salary doesn't stop coming because she's a special grade sorcerer. Currently, she's not affiliated with any jujutsu school and is working solo. She is also a former star plasma vessel, just like Riko Amani, the girl Gojo and Geto failed to protect. We still don't know the reason why she didn't merge with Tengen, or why she's declared as a former star plasma vessel. And did you know she actually has a Shikigami called Garuda that she can use with her curse technique? Surprisingly, however, Garuda has some relation to Eastern mythologies. It's a firebird that has some resemblances with the phoenix from Western mythology and can be found in Hindu and Buddhist mythology, where it is the mount or personal creature of the Hindu god Vishnu. When it comes to curse technique, Yuki's curse technique has some similarities with Kenjaku, where her curse technique prioritizes mass and Kenjaku uses gravity. She also hates him because he's too condescending. Yuki could even create a black hole, and the only way Kenjaku survived it was because he turned his body into a domain. This technique was said to have come from Yuji's mom, so Yuji is indeed from a line of cursed technique users. Here we are, the Gambler, the popular dancer like Dabi and Kobeni on YouTube. Now, you might be wondering why I mentioned Hakari is a special grade, even though he isn't listed as one in the wiki. Well, that's because there was a moment where he beat up a member of the Jujutsu higher-ups. That was the reason why we still haven't seen him in the original series, because he was suspended and why he has no rank. This happened during the night parade of 100 demons, the moment when Geto was fighting Yuta Okkotsu in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. And did you know he's actually the boss of a fighting club where sorcerers gather, fight, and bet? This happened after he was suspended. He even colored his hair during this time. What's even more interesting is that his entire outfit as a Boki was inspired by the same outfit worn by Tyler Durden in Fight Club, which might have also inspired his current profession. Probably the most unique thing about Hakari is his domain expansion, where its rules are so long and so complicated that there's an entire section in the manga dedicated to explaining it. In summary, there are 7 characters from his domain expansion with their own unique backstories, and there are only 4 ways Hakari can get a jackpot, each with varying difficulties. This means that his domain expansion is not a sure jackpot, and he only has a 1 in 239 chance of getting it. Weirdly enough, whenever he does get the jackpot, a theme song of Private Pure Love Train called Admiring You starts playing, but of course, we can't hear that in the manga. This is because his innate technique is inspired by a romance manga series and is similar to Pachinko game. And did you know Gojo said Hakari might be able to surpass him one day? What's even more interesting is that if Gojo ate Sukuna's fingers, can Hakari defeat him? Well, click on this video where we explain what will happen if Gojo ate Sukuna fingers. Click it.